Welcome back. Recall from section 9.1 that a sequence is a list of terms. So it's a set of numbers separated by commas. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to take each of those terms or each of those numbers and we're going to add them up. So adding the terms of a sequence produces a series. So in 9.1 we learned about geometric sequences, and what we're going to do is we're going to take all the terms of the geometric sequence and add them up, and that's going to produce a geometric series. So we're going to start our intro into series with geometric series. So let's look at a practical example of that. A person with an ear infection is told to take antibiotic tablets regularly for several days. Since the drug is being excreted by the body between doses, how can we calculate the quantity of the drug remaining in the body at any particular time? So we're going to consider ampicillin, a common antibiotic, taken in 250 milligram doses 4 times a day, so every 6 hours. It is known that at the end of the 6 hours, about 4% of the drug is still in the body. So we're going to let N be the number of tablets taken, and Q sub N is going to be the quantity in the bloodstream after the nth tablet, and that's going to be measured in milligrams. Okay, so when N is 1, the person has taken their first tablet, and the quantity, Q1, is going to be 250 milligrams. 6 hours later, they're going to take their second tablet, so the quantity in the bloodstream will be Q2. And so we have 250 milligrams from that second tablet, and the first tablet, we're down to just 4% of it. So that's 250 times 0.04. So that represents how much we have in the bloodstream. 6 hours later, we're going to be on our third tablet, and so Q3, how much of the medicine is still in the bloodstream. So we have 250 milligrams from that third tablet. The second tablet is going to be 250 times 0.04, because there's 4% left. And then the first tablet, which right now is 250 times 4%, is going to multiply by another 4%. Okay, so it's decreased even further, and so we can kind of clean this up and write it as 250 times 0.04 squared plus 250 times 0.04 plus 250. All right, so 6 more hours go by. Now we're on our fourth tablet, so Q4. So we have 250 milligrams from the fourth tablet. On the third tablet, that 250 milligrams we had is now down to just 4% of that. The second tablet, so before the second tablet was at 250 times 4%. So now it's got to decrease down another 4%. And then the first tablet we had at 250 times 4% squared, and we need only 4% of that amount, so we'll multiply by another 0.04. So we have 250 times 0.04 cubed plus 250 times 0.04 squared plus 250 times 0.04 plus 250. So think that we can probably make a prediction about how much is going to be in the bloodstream after the 10th tablet. So when it was the fourth tablet, we had 250 times the 4% cubed plus 250 times the 4% squared all the way down to 250. So this 10th tablet is going to give us 250 times the 4% to the 9th plus 250 times the 4% to the 8th, all the way down to 250 times the 4% plus the 250 from that 10th tablet. Okay, so that would be our Q10. Now if I wanted to actually calculate that, that would be a bugger to put in the calculator. So let's look at maybe a little bit of algebra magic to see if we can find a simpler way to add that up. So I'm going to put my Q10 down here again. So Q10 is equal to 250 times 0.04 to the 9th plus 250 times 0.04 to the 8th plus all the way down to 250 times 0.04 plus 250. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Q10 I'm going to write another copy down, but I'm going to multiply it by 0.04, so times that 4%. So when I do that, the 250.04 to the 9th becomes 250.04 to the 10th plus 250.04 to the 9th plus all the way down to 250 times 0.04. Okay, so I just multiplied all the way through by 0.04. Right, now I'm going to take Q10 and I'm going to subtract the 4% of Q10. So that's going to give me Q10 minus 0.04 Q10 equals a negative 250.04 to the 10th. And then all of these terms are going to cancel out all the way down to the end, so I get to plus 250. So I'm going to do a little factoring on each side. So I have Q10 times 1 minus 0.04 equals 250 times negative 0.04 to the 10th. Okay, plus 1. And so if I solve for this, I get Q10 is 250. I'm just going to rearrange this here. So I have 1 minus 0.04 to the 10th divided by 1 minus 0.04. Okay, so that is a whole lot easier to put into the calculator than doing each term individually. And it would be really nice if we could find a general formula so we don't have to go through this process each time. So come back for the next video and we'll take a look at that.